Buddy, how you doing? If you don't know, I'm Jordan Johnson, the acting president at the moment.
Yeah.
This would be Thomas Klein, our secretary. And
I'm still.
our current vice president, Diane Williams. Really, I got a short memory, so.
And I'm Marilyn McCall. I'm the neighborhood program coordinator for Clark County. So I help get these going and I send out postcards that wind up in your mailboxes. After they figure out what we're going to do, then I put it together so that we can mail it out to you. And tonight we have our group from Clark County Green Neighbors. We have somebody to talk about recycling batteries, and we have somebody to talk about composting, and we've got some giveaways for making it easier for you to compost.
Want me to kick off? No, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Wait, when are we gonna do the election?
We'll do it right after these guys are done.
Ladies, take it away.
So I'm just going to do a really quick overview about battery recycling before I hand over the show to Camille to do our main event, the We Compost program. You guys probably saw me rushing, spreading around some materials on your table. So that's kind of the gist of what we're going to cover tonight. It'll provide some resources about what we're going to talk about. And I'll get to the funny battery decals that are on some of your tables in a second too. I want to start by saying, batteries, all spent batteries are hazardous. So when you're done with a battery, it cannot go in your garbage. It cannot go in your recycling bins. They have to be brought to a special location so we can ensure that we're mitigating the fire risk associated with batteries. I was just talking to a chemist over here about the lithium ion problem. So more and more batteries nowadays are composed of lithium ion. So this was introduced into the market in 2008. And ever since then, the amount of batteries or products that contain batteries that we consume has increased exponentially. And that's great that we have this new power source that's readily available and cheap to produce, and we're able to power our devices. But these lithium ion batteries are, as they're really effective, they're also really dangerous. So they have a really high fire potential and a really high explosion potential. So the tiniest nail or piece of metal getting into them can cause them to explode, and they go through something called thermal runaway. Does our chemist or anyone in the room know what thermal runaway is? Yeah, so it's terrifying. Usually I have a video that kind of shows what it looks like, but essentially once these batteries ignite, they can reach 1,000 degrees in a matter of seconds. So when they ignite, they're really hard to put out, and they actually don't need oxygen to keep burning the way a normal fire would. So when we're putting them in our garbage or our recycling cans and they get moved into our recycling trucks, our Waste Connections haulers are moving them, they get compacted really easily. We actually see a huge amount of battery fires kind of across North America because of this, and they've been increasing exponentially every year. In 2021 alone, they cost haulers, people who work in scrap metal, people who work in garbage, $1.2 billion. And every year that number is increasing because the amount of damage done by these fires.
No, locally, I believe it was 2 years ago, the hearing aid batteries were rubbing together, and Waste Connection lost the garbage truck.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a common story. I mean, just 6 months ago, if you guys read the Columbian as much as I do, you might have seen an article about a light up soccer ball catching fire at our transfer station and that causing a huge disruption in their workflow. Yes.
My understanding is that you can put the batteries, if you take them on top of the recycling can. Has that changed?
No, that's actually what I'm here to talk to you about, is kind of the programs that we have for managing these batteries. So I keep telling you what you can't do with them, where they can't go. So I'm here to tell you where they can go.
If it's so dangerous, why is it out there for our use?
Good question. Because lithium is readily available. Lithium is like nothing that we're mining is, infinite, but for now, lithium reserves are quite expansive. So we're able to get the product from China for relatively cheap. They actually have a monopoly on the market. So there's not a lot of lithium mines.
That sounds a lot like I don't care because I'm making a lot of money.
Kind of, but also, lithium ion batteries are being used in electric vehicles. So even though they do pose a hazard, it's cost effective and it's energy effective to use them. The issue comes with, we have a new power source. how do we properly manage its end of life?
Mhm.
So we have electric vehicles. That's great. A lot of people love electric vehicles, but what do you do with the batteries when they're done? That's not what this program is. Those batteries are a bit out of our scope, but it's same for your household batteries. Your phones are going to have lithium ions. Nowadays, rechargeable batteries can be lithium ions. There are a few lithium ion batteries that are kind of sprinkled around the table, you guys can see. So a laptop battery is always going to be a lithium ion. So we're just basically trying to bridge the gap between, we know this battery is more common. We know people are buying them. Oh, what was it?
That was lead acid battery.
Oh, maybe. We know that they're more common. So how do we make sure that we're protecting your household for one? If you're stockpiling batteries and you're storing them in a junk drawer, there's a big increased risk just for yourself of them exploding from any kind of contact. But also, how do we protect our sanitation workers, our truck drivers, people at our transfer stations, and protect that infrastructure that we've developed for our solid waste system? So a few programs that we have. One was actually already mentioned. It's our curbside battery recycling program. So if you have a curbside recycling service, you are basically able to opt into this curbside battery recycling program that accepts alkaline batteries, so AA, AAA, hearing aid batteries, those button cell batteries, and more common household batteries, with the exception of lithium ions. So lithium ions are not allowed in the program. Those other batteries that I listed are, as long as you tape the charges on the end, and then put them in a Ziploc bag and set them on your recycling cart on recycling day. So a few tips. We know that some routes, they're out while it's still dark out. They're picking up your recycling while it's still dark out. So if you do the curbside battery collection, we recommend you slide like a white piece of paper under the bag so that your driver sees it. So I have heard instances where, it's dark, they don't see the batteries, and maybe they end up on the road. And we don't want that. We want you to have your batteries actually get recycled. So we're repurposing all of those minerals. Yes.
Aren't they just as much danger blowing up on the side of the street in that as they are inside of a truck?
Well, it's when you're taping the ends of them, it's accepting those charges, but also lithium-ion batteries aren't accepted in the program kind of for that reason. So the alkaline batteries, they pose more of a risk when we're talking about pollution and contamination. So alkaline batteries can contaminate soil and water when they leak, but lithium-ion batteries, they are more hazardous, so we don't want to risk that. So we've created oh, yes.
I had bought a electric lawnmower that had a battery, and I knew that I had to keep it away from other things. I just got too nervous. I wouldn't use it. I bought it brand new, and I ended up getting rid of the lawnmower with the lithium battery.
You sound like me. Yeah, working in this job and reading about battery fires has made me a bit more cautious than the normal person. I will admit, I won't bring like my cell phone battery pack charger on an airplane. That scares me. My husband makes fun of me for it, but it's nature of the trade. So we have that curbside program for some of your common household batteries, your remote batteries, things like that. So for those lithium ions that I'm talking about, that's where this postcard here comes into play. So Clark County has developed a battery drop-off program that accepts quite a few more batteries than are what accepted in the curbside program. So a few of you will have examples on your table of the entire scope of batteries that are accepted. So you'll see like cell phones, those watch batteries, small scale lead acid batteries, lithium ions, 9 volts, even drill batteries are accepted in this program. So we partner with a lot of community organizations and retail locations and give them this flame retardant lined box that they can essentially, get batteries from the public, from their community in, and make sure that they're all prepared properly, that they're taped, that they're individually bagged, and ship away where we can recycle 99% of the components.
Good question. Do they pay you for these batteries?
No.
I know I get paid for my batteries too. Where are they being shipped to? Is it Ghana?
No. Call to Recycle is it's actually the like North American Battery Stewardship Organization that works with multiple states. So they have a really robust recycling network. I actually think they have a processing facility up in Seattle, and that's likely where they're sending the batteries, but I'd have to double check. But we actually pay to opt into the program for now. We're currently
You pay them to make money off of your trash.
It's not the economics we're worried about. It's more the, reducing the fire risk from businesses and from households.
Well, I'd scare you too if I wanted to make money. I mean, everything you just said tells me, what do you know that I don't know? I'm now more afraid of batteries than I was when I walked in that door. And it sounds to me a lot like somebody scared you so they can make money off of your product.
Well, not
We can get a lot of.
Because I just told you, I already know where I can go and recycle my batteries for money. Why would I give them to somebody when I know that I can get paid for it?
We'll absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. We say the same thing for vehicle batteries. There are a lot of places where you can get a rebate for a vehicle battery. So if you want to do that option, do that option. But for some people, they may not have the transportation that's required to bring that to where it goes. So we're trying to create a network where it's more convenient and accessible.
I applaud that. I really do. I'm behind that idea 100%. I believe in recycling. You can ask him. I do it every day at work. I
don't. He yells at me.
You're putting freaking cardboard boxes in the trash, right?
It hurts me, it's really annoying.
But here's my thought. We have a hard enough time actually getting people to recycle the boxes. So what makes you think that they're gonna tape up the ends on a battery and put it in a bag and then put it in another box specifically when they won't even recycle a cardboard box?
I
Now,
would
the
love to.
recycled cans and bottles,
Yes.
there needs to be an incentive, is what you say.
I would love to talk to you more about the particulars after the presentation, because I only have a little bit of time, and there's still some more I want to cover. But this program really does bridge the gap for people who maybe can't drive to that other service to drop off those batteries. And we actually don't fully pay for it. It's actually subsidized by Waste Connections, our hauler, because they don't want those battery fire incidents. And we've already seen a pretty good amount of success. We've been able to recycle about 1,000 pounds of batteries in the last year. So 1,000 pounds, it may have ended up in the wrong location, which is awesome. So if
So if you're subsidized by waste management, so you're subsidized for the rate payers, which that's.
but
Just want to make that clear, and I want to hear that.
this is just in lieu
Just in
of,
the same way that like a curbside option is included from ratepayers in
Yeah.
Clark County, that's the exact same thing.
same
Just like your
process.
curbside options for motor oil and antifreeze as well.
The same
Well, once
process,
again, you can recycle those. for
other
free.
locations too.
Right, just as you can curbside, right, right.
But,
Is there an incentive for people to do this?
There's
just if they care.
Yeah, there's no rebate for it.
No.
Like I said, you know, I mean, it's hard
There's a lot of things about people that care, and I like everyone once.
Yeah, I think we
I'm
can make our own
living every
decisions.
day,
So
okay?
I think we can make our own decisions. We're just here to talk to you about the fire risk to our community. And we're just trying to take these dangerous materials potentially off of the streets, out of a trash compactor where they have a much higher fire
Well,
potential.
here's the
And
thing,
trying
they
to
actually
get them-
don't catch fire unless they have a charge.
Well, and really quickly too, we're not the only place doing this. This is like all across North America. We have
Yeah.
multiple states that opt into battery recycling and actually make it legally required that you actually participate in a
So
battery
now we're being
recycling program.
forced to do this.
So like
They don't have a lot of time.
So like the city of Seattle, they've completely banned batteries from their curbside programs. So you do have to find proper end of life management for those. And this program is actually made in anticipation of a larger statewide program. It's an extended producer responsibility clause that essentially makes it so in 2027, the people who produce and make the batteries that they sell in Washington state are the ones that pay for the recycling. So they pay for the program. So eventually this entire program will be adopted by the Department of Ecology and paid for by those battery producers. But we're just trying to build the infrastructure and educate people on this ahead of that policy being implemented.
So they get the more accessible.
No, not necessarily. Yes.
I have a question on, okay, the 6-volt battery. Where does that fit? I mean, between your little battery.
Yeah.
And the 6-volt battery, which is good size, or one that belongs in a big lamp or a
Mhm.
flashlight or whatever. Would that be something you put on top of your garbage can, or is it
Yeah.
handled different?
You can put it on top of your garbage can as long as you make sure that the chemistry is not lithium ion. That component kind of sneaks into some batteries sometimes. So if it is under 9 volts, it is accepted. So 9 volts and over, we consider it too large. But if you guys are interested in participating in the program, I've shown some examples of how we expect batteries to be taped to like neutralize those charges on the ends. But I also have these postcards here where you can scan the QR code or go to the website to find a battery drop-off location nearest you. So right now we have one about 14 minutes away, another one about 11 minutes that direction, and we're gonna have a new one opening up on 4th Plains soon. So not public information yet, but stay tuned. So, but I'm gonna pass it over to Camille. If you guys have other battery-centric questions, I'm happy to stay and talk afterwards. Oh, I'm gonna pass it over to Camille. Yes, thank
I
you
love
guys.
the passion behind batteries. Yeah, this is exciting. So I'm here to talk to y'all about the We Compost program. It's another flyer that's on your tables. So if you pick that up, hopefully you can read the map well enough to take a look at different locations that may be close to either your neighborhood or your child's school or your work or on the way to the grocery store. Our hope is that one of these locations is convenient for y'all. So as some of you might know, if you live outside of the bounds of City of Vancouver, you don't have access to curbside organic service. And even if you do live inside City of Vancouver limits, there are still limitations on where you live. So if you live in an apartment, you're not going to have access to that service. So what this program does is it allows everyone in Clark County to drop off food waste for free at any one of these locations. Right now, all of these locations are open all hours, but we do have more information on our website. So if you have a ability to scan this QR code, you can do that through your phone, or you can type in the link down there at the bottom. There's a short link, so hopefully you guys can type that in. But yeah, our hope is that you guys can save up your food scraps and drop them off. I know some of y'all might already have composting options at your home. Some of you might do a worm bin or another backyard system. And these are the pails that we give out as part of this program. So they're pretty nifty. They have a nice little handle. The top is really good at keeping fruit flies and ants out. Really, really like, it's not airtight because there are little holes in there. So the food doesn't get super gross, but it's good at keeping pests out, which is a good thing. And then on here, it just has a little label of what you can drop off. So you can drop off anything that you would have eaten. So that includes bones, meat, cheese, things that you may not be able to put into other compost systems. Even if you are a composter and you have a worm bin, you're still going to have a lot of items that you can't put into that system. And so you can put it in this pail and then drop it off at one of these locations. And our information is down here, like I said, also on that flyer. So you can look at more information about the program. This We Compost program started in 2021 because we had some really passionate advocates in our community that were interested in making sure everyone has open access to curbside composting. So that's something that we've been partnering with Waste Connections and with City of Vancouver and with some other partners in the county to make sure that everyone has access to this service, because the last thing we want is landfill food waste. When food waste is sent to a landfill, it creates methane, which is a really toxic greenhouse gas that exacerbates climate change. And so we want to make sure that all of our food is diverted, either through your own system at home or through this program. So if you want to stay after the meeting and come up and chat with us, we'll have you put your name down and say that you pledged to compost. We'll hand you a pail, and then you can grab one of these flyers and learn more about the location that might be close to you. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but I know there's lots of other things on the agenda too.
So bones can go actually in these, whereas I live within, I just live on the other side of here, so I'm in the city of Vancouver, and I can't put a lot of things in my yard. It says yard waste on it, so it's only supposed to be stuff that you can compost that I put in that.
Do you live
or true food waste that would be in a compost pile, and bones can normally go in a compost pile. So I'm always winding up, like I'll buy a chicken at Costco and I've got the bones left and I have to throw it in the trash. And I hate throwing it in the trash. But I can, if I have one of those, I can put it in there and I can.
So clarifying question, you live inside City of Vancouver or
I am inside the city of Vancouver.
Okay, so if you guys live inside city limits of Vancouver and you have the organics or yard debris service, you can actually put all food waste in that bin if you're in the city limits of Vancouver. So even if your bin says yard debris, it might just be an outdated bin.
Okay.
But you can actually put everything in that bin if you're inside
Bones
city
too?
limits. Bones, cheese, pits, rinds, seeds, all of it.
I didn't know that. I thought it was only for yard waste because it says yard waste in big letters.
Yeah, the city ran out their organics program a couple of years ago, and as you can imagine, there's almost 200,000 people who live in the city limits of Vancouver. So it's a large effort to roll out those carts. And so some people actually still have our old yard debris carts, but technically if you're within the city limits, it's the organic service. So you can put everything in.
So then my yard
that's
debris,
good to know.
yard debris, big green yard debris parts cannot have yard household.
If you're, are you in UGA or are you in City of Vancouver?
No, I'm in this area neighborhood, which is not City of Vancouver.
Okay, then yes, that's correct. So that's why we're here promoting this program, because anyone can use this program.
So they're gonna get upset if we're throwing our.
Chicken bones.
Yeah, so if you live outside city limits, if you live outside of city limits, then it's just a yard debris service. So it's just like your hedge trimming, your garden weeds and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
See, and
If you've ever been to a transfer station, you might see they have a specific section for organics and a
Yeah.
specific one for yard debris.
Mhm.
Because all that yard debris, they're like turning into hog fuel for the most part. So it can't be commingled, at least as it exists
Right.
right now.
Right. Yeah, we have a little bit of different systems
Yeah.
for those waste streams, yeah. But yeah, feel free to ask us any questions if you have anything, but we'll pass it off. Be mindful of time.
They show.
Thank
Oh,
you
you
for
guys have
coming
lots
and giving the presentation. Thank you both. I do appreciate it.
I think it's a lot of them. We wanted to talk about actual compost bins. You've got time to do.
I do have a question for you though. Two, actually. So rotting food can get kind of stinky.
Yeah,
How are those with smelling?
actually, I'll admit they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you have the ability to put this in like a fridge or a freezer that way, I know it's pretty big though, so I don't put mine in my refrigerator or freezer. I live in an apartment. I don't have that
Brings
big
me
of an
to my
area.
second question.
Honestly, I'm pretty good about retaining the
So it
odors.
seems intended for single people only, because I can tell you that a single family of four would fill that up within a few days.
Yeah,
So one, is it intended for single people? And then two, is it also intended to be emptied, what, once a week, once every 2 weeks?
probably at least once a week is what I would imagine, because you wouldn't really want to be sitting in here for longer than that, unless you were able to put it in a fridge or a freezer. But again, I know this takes up so much space, like I couldn't put this in my tiny fridge or freezer. So ideally, probably once a week would be a good drop off, but you don't have to use this. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use a 5-gallon bucket or any type of Tupperware, you can use whatever, this is just an option to make it a little bit easier for people, because they're, transporting from your home to the park. So it's an option.
If you could let them know about the actual composting classes, there are people out property that would be interested.
Okay, yeah. So next announcement, we have another program, who's not here today, but we have a composter recycler program. And they host a series of workshops twice a year, spring and in fall. Their spring workshops are coming up, and they cover lots of different topics related to actually doing the composting yourself. So learning how to host a worm bin, be a worm composter, host a backyard system. So if you have property or you have area, like even a small backyard, you could segment off a section and compost yourself. And then they also have lots of different classes around green cleaning. So trying to remove toxic chemicals from your home and clean with more sustainable options that are better for our ecosystem. I teach a class about food waste reduction. So we talk all about how to be a low waste chef. We talk about meal planning and shopping smart, all sorts of different tips to budget and save money when it comes to food, making sure that, again, that food doesn't end up in the landfill. That's one of our main goals. So the Composter Recycler program here at Clark County, you can look it up. Our spring schedule was actually just posted. We don't have our flyers even yet. That's how breaking this news is. But our schedule is up on our website, so you can take a peek. It's called Clark County Composter Recyclers, and it's under the upcoming offerings, and all of those offerings are free.
Is
You
that
can
the
take-
email that I got?
It may be.
No, I haven't sent you the whole list of everything that they can give classes on, but they can come back and give any of those classes
Yes.
to you.
Mhm.
So we could have a class on how to reduce your groceries, plan your groceries better so that you're not throwing as much food away.
I think a lot of people could benefit from that.
And paired, and paired with, what's the other one? You said,
We have a lot of different options on that.
I'll send you the list and people can look over it and see if there's other things that they want to learn, and we can come and do actual hands-on classes. They're happy to come and do
Mhm.
actual hands-on classes of stuff.
Yeah, and some of them also have some giveaway options too. So
Yeah, I was at the composting class. They did a composting class up in Amboy where they showed how you have to stack green stuff, brown stuff,
yep, that's right.
Something-
Green stuff,
something-
brown stuff, yep.
something else stuff, so that it will heat up enough to make a good mulch for your garden. And it was really interesting. I learned a lot from it. It was a
Well,
good.
I signed up for that class myself, and not in Amboy, but they were supposed to have it up at Cascade Park Library,
Yes.
and they were to contact me, and they never did.
Oh, about a
And
composting
I-
class?
Yeah, I signed up at either the idea fair, I can't remember, Clark County Fair.
Oh,
Never did.
Let's
okay.
get your email since it's going to start up, and we'll make sure we get you the information on
Because
it.
I wanted to get in, but we just
Yeah.
throw everything in the garbage now.
Yeah, if you can come get into it. And some of these offerings, like if you attend our worm bin workshop, it'll qualify you to receive a free worm bin. And that's fully stocked. It's the material and the worms. Same thing with our backyard composting. So you'll actually qualify to receive a giant backyard bin. Our green cleaning, you'll get a free green cleaning kit where you'll make 3 green cleaners, the make and take experience. Our low waste chef, I have lots of different giveaways for that one that just help people reduce waste in the kitchen and in their homes.
Yeah, that was the other thing I thought would be interesting too, for some of the
Mhm.
neighborhoods is to have a green cleaning kit, because
Yeah,
it's cheaper also than,
So much
it's
cheaper.
really inexpensive to make your own cleaning products.
yeah, we've done some really interesting cost analysis and we break down how much everything costs, and it can be under 30 cents to make some of our most favorite all-purpose cleaners. And when you think about how much a cleaning product costs in the store, you know, like a scrub for your stove or something, it's over 30 cents, that's for sure.
For you, send me an email, like a reminder email on the neighborhood email list, and I'll look into it, make sure you get all updates as far as
I
what
put
classes
my
they have.
email on here on the list so many.
Oh,
times,
perfect.
and I didn't know, no information.
We'll just get it straight to,
Get it to me and I can look tonight, make sure you're on my list. If not, I will put you there
Okay.
myself tonight.
I don't think I'm on your list, Jordan, but you're all,
It's great class, we again, so we did learn so much.
Great.
Really.
Great. Yeah. So you can come to our classes, or like Mary Lee was saying, we can take the classes to you. So we can come out and take over one of your meetings and do the class to everyone. That might be a fun little activity. So yeah,
Good to me.
let us know if you guys have any questions about composting, battery disposal. Also on your tables, I have a little postcard promoting the Recycle Right app. This is an app that's coordinated in part by Clark County, in part by City of Vancouver, and in part by Waste Connection. So it's a joint service notification that we have. You scan this QR code, that'll tell you more information about it, but you also can download the app, available on Apple Store, the App Store, or on Android, the Google Play Store. You just type in Recycle Right, just like this, it'll pop right up. And it's a really neat app. It will show you your collection calendar, so you can put in your home address, and then it'll tell you every week what is accepted. Like I know I have every other week service for both my garbage and my yard debris and my recycling. So it gets confusing what I'm putting out what days. So this will tell you what is supposed to be picked up on what days. It also has a notification system where you can turn on alerts and it'll notify you the night before service. So I have my notification on Monday nights, and that helps me put out my waste before my Tuesday morning pickup. And then there's also a directory where we have over 500 individual items that are listed in this directory. So if you have a random item like block foam, for example, or like the batteries, and you don't remember this presentation, you don't know what to do with it, you can type that item in to the directory and it'll pull up lots of different local options, and it's all Clark County based. We have a couple locations, especially like for the batteries, and some film drop-off locations that are in like North Portland. Just depends on your address when you put it in. If you're in very, very south Vancouver, I might pull up North Portland, but for the majority, it's Clark County based. So this is a really neat app. I definitely recommend it. We may or may not be over the inclement weather, but I know that inclement weather can certainly impact curbside service. So this is another tool that people can get information if there are delays, especially with summer coming up, where we might actually service a little bit earlier in the day to avoid the heat of the day. All of that communication happens on that. So definitely recommend downloading that if you haven't already.
I have a different recycling question.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we love it.
When we got all of our new garbage cans,
Mhm.
they did a pickup on glass once,
Okay.
and then I haven't seen a glass truck pickup, so I don't even know what the schedule is. Because from what I understand, they only run like once a month or something. They don't run as often as the regular recycling. So it's like, I have a bucket of glass that has just been sitting there forever.
Yeah.
And then my sister wanted to know when the free shredding of paper is
Okay.
okay again.
Good question. So glass is actually picked up every time your recycling is picked up. It's actually in the same truck. There's a separate glass component in the truck. So the recycling trucks actually also pick up the glass. So when you set out your recycling, you can just set out the glass bin right on the side. It has to be with the recycling. It won't be picked up if you set it out on your garbage day. So that's correct. It just has to be on there. Right?
Okay, because I was under the impression of a
Yep.
separate truck that was.
No, that truck, it's a separate cab in that truck, but it's the same So there's only one vehicle.
They let me believe it was a different truck.
Yeah, so, and it might have used to have been that way when we had like our old school, like 3-tiered system. Like I grew up in Clark County, Ridgefield, so I remember like the old system, and I know that was very different. Exactly, yeah, so it's really different than it is now. So we've made a lot of different improvements, but it is, you're able to set the glass out anytime that you set the recycling out. Same thing with batteries.
Is there a free shredding?
So we don't
event
coordinate.
happening?
We don't coordinate the free shredding events, but I know there are several in the county. And sometimes they're posted up on our event calendar. We have an event calendar on the Green Neighbors website. And I know a couple of the organizers in town and they post onto our event calendar. We don't coordinate them directly. So off the top of my memory, I don't know when the next one is, but they do usually try to run them around tax season. So I would say in the next couple months, you know, you're gonna have more pop up in the next couple months. Yeah. So I would keep your eye out on that one. Yeah.
Is there some kind of program with Waste Connection to where? Okay, so I used to live in Auburn,
Okay.
and like once a year, like one day a year, you can take anything you need to throw away, throw it out on the street, and the city would come and pick it all up for
Okay.
free.
Yeah.
Is
So
there
we don't.
anything like that down here?
That's a great question. We don't do that here. No one here lives in the city limits of Vancouver. No one here. Okay. So yeah, the thing with,
That's our
Okay.
neighbor.
I looked up the boundaries and I didn't think so, but I just wanted to confirm. I wasn't sure how many
Basically,
people would be coming.
205.
Yeah, I looked at your boundaries before, but, yeah, and the only reason I bring that up is that, we do have a bulky pickup option through Waste
What's
Connections.
that?
So it's like if you have a bulky item, could be like a furniture, I only have ever set out one bulky item since I've lived here, but my bulky item was like one of those over the top cargo things for your roof rack.
Cars.
Yeah, and it just was like really cracked and it was leaking and there was no way I could put a new top on it, etc. So that type of thing, where it's just a really large bulky item that would be disposed of as trash. You can set that out and you actually can also request service on the Recycle Right app. You can also call Waste Connections. There will be a fee depending upon where you live. So I can't exactly tell you what that is. I don't work for Waste Connections, but I know that that is a fee service, but that is an option if you're not able to haul it yourself.
No, I mean, I
Yeah.
also know that I can call Mayberry and get them to come do a trash and pick up too for free.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah, because I did a mattress one time.
Okay,
I
yes.
called and I called them, left them a message
Uh-huh.
that I needed. It gave my phone number. They never got back, so I just put it out. There was no question. They basically charged me garbage can.
okay,
It's
right.
like $6, I think.
Yeah.
I do that with
Okay.
appliances too. I had
Yes, yep,
gotten rid of the stove.
yep.
And, if the stove is older than 10 years old, Waste Connection will pick it up, but if it's younger than 10 years old, you can donate it to like, resale, habitat, the habitat.
Yes,
place.
yes.
So
And
they
sometimes they'll even pick it up for you. Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Crap, I would have picked that up for free. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, there's always C&M recycling on 117.
do they do mobile pickups too?
Not that I know of,
Okay,
but
yeah.
they'll take, if it's metal, they'll
They'll
take it.
take it. Yeah,
They'll give you money.
Same
Right.
here. If it's metal, I will take it and I will make money off of it.
yeah. Well, let us know if y'all have any other like basic recycling questions, anything in the waste realm. We're certainly here to talk about it and happy to be out here. So thanks for inviting us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up and giving us a lovely presentation.
I believe our community not to
Shut up.
We've got one person that called in online. I just want to verify that it's not a sheriff's representative. And if so, if it is, then you need to unmute and let me know that you're calling in. If not, you can just keep listening to the meeting and we're gonna go into elections. I'm still muted, so we'll move on to elections.
All right, everybody. For our bylaws, every 2 years, all positions have to go up for a vote. As I said earlier, I'm only the acting president. I was not voted in. I was given a position to hold till now so I can give you guys your voice. I'm asking you to let me continue to serve as your president. So I'll be the first one to go up for election. Also, if there's anybody else here who would like to take that spot, please speak up now. Okay, is there anybody opposed to me keeping the seat? Is there anybody who wants me to keep the seat?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Then I will continue to serve as your president for the next 2 years. Thank you, I appreciate it. The squad of vice president is also up, and our current vice president, Diane, wishes to step down. So if there's anybody who would like to be vice president, we do need your help.
It's an easy. It's just that I've been here since the inception of a few years, 6 years or whatever it's been. Anyway, but I'm just ready. I've got some other things going. So, and we can't be recognized as our neighborhood entity unless there's a vice president. So
You can operate with just 2 folks.
We have two.
If you have to.
okay.
We don't want it to go on indefinitely that way, but a board, according to Robert's Rules of Order, you have to have 2 people for a board.
Okay.
3 people is ideal because then you got somebody to step in if the president isn't available. But we can do it with 2 if no one else is going to volunteer, and hopefully we can get some more fun things going, and people will want to be involved and help us do it.
Yeah.
And
So
I do a lot of the heavy lifting through the county. I do a lot of helping set things up, and so there's not a whole lot of work.
there really isn't. But at any rate, I just.
It's mainly determining when you guys are going to have meetings, what you want to hear at the meetings. Listening to people if they're going to give you a call and they have an issue with something, and forwarding it on to me so that I can get it taken care of in between the times that you have meetings. Because during the meetings, you guys can just come up to me, and I always keep a list, and I go in and talk to Public Works and code enforcement or whoever needs to be talked to after these meetings. So that piece of it, sometimes you have to gather information. You might get emails that somebody's having a problem with this, somebody who's speeding, or a request for a stop sign or crosswalk, and gathering that type of information. But it's not a whole lot of work, but it keeps everything going. It keeps you guys active, and so that we can keep coming back and bringing you more information.
And it should be noted, we did at least get some action, and they did put the speeding test strips across 67
Oh, they did.
after our last meeting.
Oh, okay.
They didn't email me back telling me that it had gotten done. So that makes me excited. I'm happy, because I was worried that I was going to hear that it hadn't been taken care of yet. So that's
Well, it's still,
excellent.
because on my way here, it's still Macho Moron and their 4x going down 67. They were not doing fine. But then I get out to Covington and there was a motorcycle. There's no way he was doing 40. So, but it's still.
And that's where we have a lot of our complaints for speeders. It's right there in Covington.
Yeah, and that, but again, at least let's note that our comments and complaints here have caused at least one action, so.
Well, we can get them to put out one of those little trailers that shows everybody you're speeding or you're going this.
Yeah.
But what that does is just cause people to slow down for just a couple weeks, and then when you move it starts speeding again.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
that came directly from the sheriff.
yeah, no, that's what he said. He said too, and then just there's some people that see.
I'm not fun, but like Debbie Tyson, just don't have them sort of busting the speeders. I don't know.
But we can bring it back out again. I just need a reminder, and then I'll shoot off an email. And if you have a specific area that you want that.
Well, I personally would like to say a big thank you to Diane for serving as our vice president. Okay, so that spot's still open. Obviously, no one wants to take it, so we're gonna move on. Secretary / treasurer is up. Thomas has already asked for it. He has been it since day immemorial, dinosaurs and all that, but he still wants to do it.
I just keep punishing these people with my writing.
Exactly. So, is anybody opposed or anybody want the spot? Is it safe to say you would like him to be the secretary still?
Yeah.
Awesome. We have our two.
Okay.
Elections are done, folks. Thank you.
So to close then, is there something that you want to see come back at your next meeting when we schedule for your next meeting?
Code enforcement?
Yeah, we'd ask to get to see them.
And
They were just at the meeting last night that I was at, so
okay.
Good.
I will let them know and have her come out and talk to you guys.
That'd be really,
Because it's actually the manager that comes out to talk, so, and she's got a lot of it, good information.
Take that down.
Yes, she was here.
As always, if you guys have questions or concerns or anything you would like me to address, like I said earlier, I serve you as your president. I don't serve my own wishes, I serve you guys. So in order for me to act, I kind of do need you to tell me what you want me to do. So if there's anything you want me to get on or any concerns like that, please let me know on the neighborhood email list or you got that email. I do check it. So if you let me know, I will get on it.
And two things that are directly impactful that the county is working on is they are reworking the master plan for the Orchards Community Park. And so they will be coming back to give you a plan on what there's going to be there. There was one of the grants was not funded. And so they're starting over and they're scaling back some of the plans, but there's plans for, I believe, a splash pad and a new playground and a new layout of what will be over there. So, and just freshening it up. So
This is the Covington Community Park.
no,
it's
Orchards.
Park.
Orchard Park,
That's-
okay.
But Covington is in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I know, I live across the street from Covington.
I went to go visit it not that long ago.
We have.
There's a
Yeah,
parking
you-
lot.
Yeah, it's like,
Steve and I walked.
It's not-
94th.
And,
94th and
heavily
then,
wooded area, 205.
not.
If you walk in there.
It's between the.
There.
Okay, hang on, guys. I can't hear her.
On the 58th Street side, and I have pictures in my phone, there's a brand new fence, someone has cut the walkway through the fence. And I know it's not homeless, it's a very nice, neat cut, pulled away. And they have put up charts, so you can't see what's going on 58th Street along that fence. And inside there, they have dug up the area and have put little bridges and different things in there.
Bridges?
A little bits for these little, what they call them, the little cars, remote control.
RC cars,
Yeah.
Little car,
Yes.
run them all.
Yeah, if you go in,
but at the park.
you know where Linda lived. If you go in on 94th.
Yeah, I know where the RC park is in Orchards Park. That's one of the things that was supposed to be moved when they redo Orchards Park, but it kind of sounds like that's one thing that got cut.
Well, one day, well, two times, but he walked in there by himself and I went in with him one time. Someone had driven a motorcycle in there, parked it and was running their car. And there was like 4 or 5 other people, cars running around and all. And it's,
Yeah, I believe it. Ever since they widened that, the entrance over by Linda's house, that made it big enough for small cars to get through. And I've seen like golf cart sized tracks through there too.
right.
Well, I will let Parks and the sheriff know because I'm not sure which one is going to be the enforcer of that. And Parks might want the sheriff to go
I'm
with
not
them.
Actually,
If they-
where is the,
Okay.
where's the hole in the fence?
Is there kind of like between 98th and 94th in the, I have a picture of it, but it's a nice neat cut. It, and it isn't homeless because there are no tents. It's not where the homeless have been in the past.
Wait, is that little road that goes,
It's a dirt road that goes east and west, 58th, right next to the park.
right? And then it leads up to that dead end or whatever right there?
Right.
So they
Right,
cut
that's
a
where you get-
hole in that fence that just got put up?
Yeah, and if you walk 58, and we walked it to where people would yell at us, get off our road because it's private, we walked on the side where the electric poles are, in the dirt and all that. And yeah, it's really interesting.
We'll have, especially if especially if it is parks land or county land, we'll get the sheriff and the parks department out
Right.
there, and I will let them know first thing tomorrow morning.
All those trees,
Oh, yeah.
there's one that would, if it broke down right now, it'd take out a house and take out the power right there.
And is it right in that same location?
It's on 58, about, I gotta think. 90, probably about 99, right in there, but it's a nice big one. I saw it tonight.
So it's got like a widowmaker on it?
This is 2 blocks away from it. You'll
It's
see
a
it back
dead
there, that
tree.
big tree.
Oh, and it's dead.
Oh, they're all dead. All them trees in there, they're all dead.
Okay,
And
I will
nobody's
let them know
touched
about
them.
that.
We've asked about this for, how many months have we brought this up? We brought it up last time. We brought it up.
Okay, I will remind them again. I think,
That's a big tree. All we gotta do is get it topped because it'll take out a house or houses.
yeah, especially with the windstorms that we've been having, but, if I recall correctly, there was a reason for a delay in scheduling of working on them. I'll find out what it is though.
Trees, they're dead.
There's 11 trees.
They're dead.
Okay, I will remind them and, I'll get your email before the end of the
Okay.
meeting so that I can respond directly to you.
Okay, thank you. I just took that picture on my way here today.
Awesome. That's really helpful. And then another thing that the county is working on is the city has had a program called the Neighborhood Traffic Management Program for a really long time. And it's been very successful because what they do is they have the neighborhood groups can submit what they consider to be problem areas with what they want done. Say they want speed bumps somewhere, or they want some sort of a modification to the road to slow traffic down. And then they take all of the submittals that are in and they choose, they rank them for safety and whatnot. And then they take whatever bucket of money they have and they'll try to get as many of them done as possible. And the county is considering doing that same program. It's going to go before the council pretty soon. And if the council approves it, then you all will have the opportunity to meet and say, hey, we want this is, they'll give us a framework of what you guys can ask for. And then we can have a meeting where we look at the map and draw some pictures and take some photos of what situations are so that we can get you a good application in for getting something done.
Oh, that's very cool.
So
Yeah.
I'm really excited that they're going to start this up. It's from listening to all of you that this is something that you want. And so it's nice that they're being responsive. It's great. And there was one other thing. Okay, so we've got that part and there's something else happening in this general neighborhood.
Yeah, Jordan just became president.
Well, I mean, there's like construction or something. There's construction or development, and I'm not recalling what it is. But if I remember, I'll get it sent out to Jordan, or I'll put it on the webpage so that you guys can see what it is.
Do you know the status on the new neighborhood signs?
The survey will go out within the next 2 weeks for everybody to vote on the 2 designs, and then we'll be replacing. The old signs are like diagonal and they're big and white and they have a little green ribbon and say entering such and such neighborhood. The new ones are going to have blue and purple. They're really colorful and they say welcome to Maple Tree neighborhood. So I'm excited that they're going to be it's going to be a real improvement from the old signs, and lots of the signs, they've been up for 25 years. Some of them have holes in them and vandalism on them and stuff. So we're going to take them down and refresh them.
And then we get to designate where we want them posted.
Yes, and I would like to, we will talk about that at a meeting of where they're at now, and then is that the best place for them, and should they be somewhere different? Because a lot of people don't know that you have them. I know one sign is when you come over 205 on whatever that street is, there is one big sign that says entering Maple Tree, and then I think there's one when you come off of Covington and come up 107.
Well, 63rd, yeah.
63rd
Yeah,
coming
63rd.
over the
Yeah, 63rd coming over this way, and then when you come off Covington and go up 107th, there's one there. So I know that's where two of them are. There should be one over here somewhere on by Orchards Park when you're coming in this way, but I haven't found that one yet.
Yeah.
And I have to go out and find where all of them are at, because they've been up there for so long that the person that put them up, that recorded where all of them were at, has retired. So now we're gonna go on a driving tour and locate where they're at.
You just said that they recorded where they put them, so where's the record?
I'm not sure where it's at. It may have gotten lost. It was probably a paper record. I doubt it's probably not a computer record. But if they can locate where it's at, that would be great. But as it stands right now, I'm driving around trying to locate where all the signs are. And
Well,
it's
thank you. I'd like to know where our signs are.
Yeah. it'll be really nice to refresh those signs.
Yeah.
And and then Jordan has talked about having a picnic for you guys at Orchard, planning a picnic, and I've talked to the sheriff's office about having them come out. It would be based on availability, but hopefully maybe having at least the drones, but maybe the drones and a canine unit, and then having some games for the kids, and basically doing like a public safety fair type of thing, and having a barbecue and popsicles and just having a community event.
We are also accepting any ideas as far as activities or something you would like to see happen during that J2.
Fire department and medical response, the whole bit would be great.
Yeah, the fire department is always challenging here because you guys are Fire District 5, so you're county, but your Vancouver Fire Department is the responding agent, so it makes it tricky getting somebody out here.
Yeah.
But if
I don't want to take away from someone to say.
Yeah, but if you wanted to have a CPR class, or I put some information about the CERT training is coming up, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team. That training is a class where you are specifically trained. I believe it's 7 or 8 sessions in the evening with a end drill at the end, and it trains you how to be an assistant to the emergency response teams in the event that we had a major disaster. So you would learn CPR, you'd learn how to do triage, and there's a whole bunch of other things that you learn. And let me do one thing. And if that's a lot and you wouldn't want to have that level of training, Jody from Cressa is working on a one-day event that would go all the way down. I think 12-year-olds can attend it, and it would be family safety training about what you'd need to do if you needed to leave your house, what you'd want to have with you, getting a list of the records that you're going to want to have on a thumb drive in the event of if you had to skedaddle from your house, how to prepare what you would need for emergency food, a list for that, and how to organize your neighbors if you were going to. You can do it in smaller groups or as big as you're comfortable with, as much as you know your neighbors, but knowing who has a chainsaw, knowing if there's somebody that lives near you that is on oxygen or dialysis, knowing if there's somebody that works across the bridge in Portland and they have a dog and a cat and a parakeet or something, so that if the bridge is collapsed and they couldn't get back over here, you know, as a neighbor that, hey, I've got to check on Sparky and Bruno. And so we're trying to get back to having a little bit more communication between neighbors, because a lot of people talk about how we've lost that. And with safety, a lot of that is communication and just knowing who lives next to you, who's out of town. You know, you tell your neighbor that, hey, I'm going to be out of town on vacation. Check the house, watch if somebody's lurking around, and we can help do some of the police stuff. They said they also have started a little bit of a neighborhood watch program. I'm not sure if they have a training session for that, but I know that's something that this group has expressed interest in before. So we can have somebody come and talk about that, of people who are interested in doing a neighborhood watch. We could have somebody come and talk about what that involves and how you'd sign up for it and how to get signs for that. So we have a lot of different things we can offer and bring to you. I just need to have you let Jordan know, and we'll get set up and have them come out and talk to you. And it can be here. In the summertime, we can do it at the park. If you'd rather do it outside, I can reserve that covered area. Excuse me, the covered area. Or we can rotate to somewhere different if somewhere else is available. So, well, however you want to proceed, just let me know.
Be nice if we have a neighborhood cleanup.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and we've got somebody that does that at,
Been around this country for a long time, and I've never seen so much litter scattered around the streets. It's just terrible.
yeah, we do have a volunteer coordinator from Public Works, and they'll have you watch a little video, and they will actually help you set stuff up. They'll give you traffic safety cones so that you're safe if you're working on the side of the road. They will give you all the gloves, the bags, all the materials that you need.
Little litter pickers.
Yeah, the little grabbers so that you're not touching anything that is toxic or harmful for you. So
Get bags from the Washington State Department of Transportation, as well as the litter picker.
yeah, but we'll work with the county because you're in the county.
The CPR, is there a chance we can get like a certified instructor? That way we can be certified there too, because I have a CPR certification, it's just need to be renewed. And I think that's a handy thing to have or know, actually.
I'll ask about that. I don't know if we can actually get somebody to do actual CPR training in this, because they usually there's usually a fee for it and you need to sign up for it. But I can find out when the next one's getting run at Fire District 5's training center, which is right over there by Dizzy Castle. It's right in your neighborhood. Yeah, and it's right here in your neighborhood, so it'd be easy for you guys to go because you don't even have to go across town.
The last time I checked, it was $50.
Oh, it's gone up. Okay. But you get a kit and you get some information to take with you. It's good information to know.
When do the cert thing start?
It's April, so it's coming up really quick. I've got the schedule for the classes. It's over there. It's up there at the sign-in sheet.
Okay. I intend to go. I've seen notifications for it in the email list.
Jody's a really good trainer too. And we're really fortunate to have Jody because she works for Cressa, and they have like a package thing from FIVA of how you're supposed to be trained. She takes all of that, she goes through all of that, and she goes, okay, how does this apply to Clark County? And which actual emergencies would we be dealing with in Clark County? What do we deal with? Because we deal with ice storms that shut stuff down. We deal with the threat of the volcano and earthquakes, and we have issues with flooding. So she targets it to what we need to know, which is very helpful.
Yeah, because it's still not a matter of when, it's a matter of when the earthquake's gonna hit.
Yeah, because we don't need to sit and learn about tornadoes like the Middle West, because that's not what we're dealing with here.
I learned something interesting a couple months ago. The work crew was coming to patch up some of the potholes on my street. I live on 71st Street in front of the park. And right at that intersection, right there, 92nd, they said that the reason part of the road wears away is because there's an underground spring in there, and it keeps causing a little bit of, dips in the ground. And so I guess this spring is supposed to come out and resurface the whole street because it keeps eating away at the road underneath. So I was really surprised to find out there was an underground spring in front of my house. Probably why my driveway is always full of water.
So is it 71st Street?
71st Street and the corner of Diggs 92nd. 94th and no, we're down from 94th. We're like, it's the next.
92nd, you said?
Yeah, I think it's 92nd. I'm looking at that. I live there right in the corner of that, on the road there, so.
Yeah, again, there's the stuff that you find out that's interesting. We had a hole in the water main. That most of the pipes in this area were put in the 50s. And that they're I think they're working on 1930 pipes as the primary replace, uh, replacement priority now. So you just don't realize how old stuff is or what's going on around us. You know, you take it for granted, but it's.
And that's what we're trying to do by getting you guys together on a semi-regular basis, is being able to share information with each other. Hopefully to the point where then you get to where, hey, the corner where that red truck is, that, and you are going, yeah, I know right where that's at. I mean, that it would be, it's really great when we can get the neighborhoods up to that level where everybody is aware of what's going on. But other than that, that's all I have. And I can take suggestions later or send emails to Jordan on stuff that you want to see at your next meeting.
On the corner of 94th and 63rd, when you come out to make a left or a right there, you're on 94th, you're gonna make a left on 63rd, or, yeah.
Could you add streets and avenues? Because otherwise I'm not going to have it accurate.
94th Avenue and 63rd Street.
Okay.
Right on the corner, there's a wooden fence, and they had a lot of blackberries. I mean, they were so high, I had to go out into the street to see the traffic. So one day I saw them sitting out in their yard, and I asked them if they can't cut down the blackberries outside of their fence, between their fence and the road. I would be willing to cut down blackberries because it's a hazard to see around the corner with cars coming. So they were willing to, they just went ahead and cut out the blackberries for us so we could see around there for traffic. The 63rd is pretty busy through there, buses and everything. The other spot that needs blackberries cut out is right there where Walgreens is, near Covington Middle School. There's, when you turn that corner there to go to Walgreens, there's blackberries that are too high to see around the traffic, like when the kids come out of the school and the traffic comes up there.
112th and Rosewood.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the very end part boundary.
yeah.
But I'll find out who owns the property and what we can do about it. I'll call code enforcement.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a rental or somebody actually lives there, so
So what side of Rosewood is it on? This side or this side?
it's on the,
Like
south
if,
side.
if you're on Rosewood and you're looking towards Bank of America, is it
Yeah,
on this
I'm
side
on the right
or
side.
that side?
Right side.
This side?
Yeah, so if you're looking at for the Bank of America, it's right on the corner.
That's outside of boundary.
Okay.
That's right outside the boundary.
I can
Like,
still-
Rosewood is-
I can still put it in though.
Is it-
You know, if it's a hazard for people that live here and you're bringing it up, I can still put it in.
Yeah,
So,
it's a traffic hazard when you're coming, like you're heading towards Covington School, so.
okay.
One corner.
Wasn't it years back that it was either a law or regulation that property owners had to have so much of their shrubbery cut back for visibility at a corner?
That's what I'm gonna check on. I think there is something there, and then they can be notified to please trim it back, and if they don't, then the county will come out and do it for safety reasons.
Right, yeah, but years back I was told that, I mean, we're talking like 30-some years ago.
That's why I was trying to make sure I got an actual address so that I could make sure of which piece of property it was and
I
who
can
owned
show
it.
it on the map, I noticed where it is.
So did you have a question as well?
This area needs a lot of improvement. From 102nd Avenue to 98th Avenue on 63rd Street, it's a parking lot of cars there, unlike, without lighting, that are
Yes,
really a danger.
And they're parking on the street?
They're on the street.
and they are like, I know it, I think
Call
that.
parking enforcement. I had a car that was parked outside my house for like 2 weeks and I got that thing towed.
The police don't even want to do anything. They even put, please do not tow.
No matter like.
So-
Call parking enforcement and like they will take care of it, I promise.
They said, please.
Okay, but I just have to double check of exactly where it's at, because some of these newer developments where they're putting in the apartments and the townhomes, they are building them so that it is set up for the people to park on the street.
These are people that have too many cars to put on their lot, so they have to put them on the street.
So they have to put them on the street. Okay, I'll drive by there.
The cars around for years.
Well, there are a lot of junk cars parked on the street there.
Right, right.
Lots of them.
That's
Those
what
are ones I,
They're unlicensed.
right, yeah,
And we call them project cars, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, it's junk, I know, and I drive that frequently, and it's just, yeah.
If they're unlicensed, they'll tow them right away. If they don't have current tabs.
I'm sure the police passed the 3 cars in the road say, please do not tow.
It's not the police that would come out. It's a civilian volunteer that goes in a official vehicle and he'll tag the car, get it ready for towing. Actually,
Yeah,
spoke to
it's
the guy.
the sheriff's auxiliary. Yep, the sheriff's auxiliary comes out and does
But
it.
you still
But
notify.
I'll try to find out what's going on and I'll go drive by there.
And then, down the street where I live, there's a tractor there that's been there for over a year.
On the street?
Yeah, he's unfortunately, he's in the hospital and I was gonna talk to him about it. And they're cleaning stuff up, so I don't know if they're gonna move it.
That tractor. It's been there for a while.
It's been about a year and
I
He doesn't want it.
She said, if you want it, you can have it.
She wants it. She wants it gone too.
Okay, because I don't know what the status is on Bob, so,
I've talked to her too.
except for this front
And she
wheel is
said,
totally
I've got 15 lawnmowers.
I can fix it.
Wow.
I can fix anything.
Okay, well, if we don't have anything else, then we can go ahead and adjourn, or officially adjourn. And if people want to still have some things to talk about, then they can hang out because there's 15 more minutes, but otherwise we'll adjourn the official meeting.
But, we need to install the generator for our next meeting.
Oh, it's not good. Awesome.
Merely.
Hang on 1 second.